All right. I have made a French video already for Florence and sent it to her last week, so I guess I owe you the English version of it, what we have been working on with Lily at home. So from English support, she get a lot of these sent to me. I explained this to you right at the conference. So these are the sight words. I had these laminated so they don't get so easily destroyed, as so commonplace with kids. This one I just got in yesterday. I ordered a word ladder to work on to reinforce the three-letter words that were assigned to her a little bit better, and the four-letter words. So this is more fun, I guess. We're gonna work through these. She seemed interested. Also, utilizing the short words. We started reading this one for the past week or so now. So we are taking the individual words from the book itself. Here it's pointed out at the very beginning of the book, and then all throughout the book it uses these short words, and the picture, of course, reinforces the meaning. I have noticed with Lily that when she gets stuck, she rather looks at the picture and try to guess it. So I had been trying to break that habit for her to read the word, at least get the first syllable or the first letter rather, to try to read the word a little bit better rather than just do a guessing game of it. This we try to reinforce in her written materials that we have been working on. So the materials that you have assigned, we are doing those. This week I haven't really done it because I had skipped to, but here we did these. And this was just an extra copy of printout. This was one of her class assignments that we did. It was the leprechaun trap, and she had to write in her words. Like so. I tried to date them when we were doing them. Oops. And then here we wrote the sentences or descriptions that you asked us to do. This was the math assignment to get to the gold, dated. This was the sentences that you asked her to write about what she would do if she found a leprechaun. We did the dinosaur game, but they ended up all over the house with the little dinosaurs, and we had spent, I'd say, half an hour to 45 minutes on that game. As I said, we had to focus on Lily's letter recognition because she's still tends to mix together the B and the D and stuff. She had a really difficult time at the beginning with the letter G, so we had worked that one out. I can proudly say that that one is out of the way, and the R she's getting clearer on. And what I have noticed when I dictate words to her, I have to say the words to her super, super slowly and emphasize the sounds out in it. And once I do that, she's much, much better writing it down correctly. Previously, what I have noticed, she completely misses the vowels and just focuses on the consonants. So sounding out the word very slowly and just like, what's that super long sound in there that you hear? It makes her realize what it is. It may not be 100% correct, Lily. I'm in the middle of something.
We accidentally broke her tent.
That's all right. I'll fix it in a second. Sorry about that. We built some forts in the TV room, so they are enjoying it tremendously right now. This was another exercise similarly to this one where she had to put in. So what I did, I wrote in the letters, the small letters, and she had to put in the capital. And obviously the pink and the blue, as I explained to you during the conference, is reinforced again. So she had to do the opposite here. She had way more mistakes. That's why I said that first I wanted to focus on the recognition of the capital letters and then focus on the smaller case letters, because as you can tell, she made way more mistakes here on this side. But we are working through these issues and she's getting better. This was a game that I comprised to her to reinforce what's the correct orientation of the letter, where I put in a whole bunch of letters, some right way, some wrong way, and she had to circle in the ones that were incorrect. And as you can tell, sometimes she made mistakes or sometimes she missed some. So where you see the pink marks, that's where I was doing the corrections. And this is a game where she can earn M&Ms, so she's encouraged not to make mistakes and find all the mistakes and not make extra circles that were incorrectly. This was an assignment that you guys gave them together with French and English, where they have to start writing a word starting with a certain letter, and she started working on those. This was her March 20th assignment with the rainbow, and that's her rainbow and unicorn and the sun. The good manners, bad manners, pictures, and what you do to have good manners and what you do to have bad manners. She did that. The coins, again, I disagree that they should be adding together, because that's really just multiplication, and multiplication should be at a much later stage. So we did counting the coins, but that's where I ended. I don't ask her to do multiplication at this point. Here, this was one of the Zoom conferences with the big Lego man, and working at her worksheets here. I don't know if you can see. We did these as well. And more of the homework from March 23rd. Oh, this is the drawing of her room. She really likes her bunk bed. I'm quite certain you heard about it. Her windows with the curtains, her dollhouse, and her desk and chair. The bunk bed was her special request for her last birthday, so that's why she's so attached. All right, this is more of her sentences that she wrote, that I drew the sun, okay? And these ones are the kiddie writings, so I don't know if you're able to make out the words. Sometimes I'm able to, sometimes I'm not, but so that's closet with a K. This was her dinosaur coloring. So the way we did it here, first I asked her to color in what the words said, and then after that it was easier to find here, to find which one corresponds to what. The second assignment, where she had to do the wacky room drawing, she wasn't happy about that, so she decided to do an LOL drawing. And that's her LOL, which was quite anatomically correct. And going back to the exercises that I had been doing with her with the Peter Rabbit book, we wrote out the words, rather, and I emphasized where they have a pattern to them as far as pronunciation. Like, instead of the beginning, at the end, you have the ER ending, and Peter, stop, farm, that sort of thing. And then the rest of the words that we used in the book. She wasn't too happy at the end because I was, I guess, pushing it too much, so she crumbled up the paper. But we did the exercises, and she's moving forward. That was her way of showing frustration, which is good. This was back with the popcorn assignment, what you guys did, or what to do with the popcorn. More writing exercises. That was for French. I was just ending up here. And this is the writing out what's wacky in the room when she had to do the wacky drawing. So the bed is upside down, or teeth were the bed grew teeth. There you go. That's what it says. So we are practicing. And this is when I started to practice the sound. And this is her crazy idea of the bubble goes out of the world. And she actually did write it out. And another exercise I started to just recently do with her is double letter sounds. So this was for the ch. I'm going to show it to you in a second. So instead of going back and forth, sorry, I didn't put these in order exactly. This is another drawing of hers that she crumbled up. This was her new house drawing. This is where she would like to move to. So this was her imagination, and I don't want to restrict her in that regard. And that was Sophia's drawing. Going back to the Peter Rabbit book again. We keep going back and forth, keep it interesting, but keep it consistent at the same time. So here, back to the double sounds that I started to talk about just a second ago. So the sh and the ch, and I tried to put little drawings, and then she had to write in first the double letter combinations. First, she had a very difficult time understanding. She thought that she has to spell out the whole word, and then finally she understood what it's about. And it's the listening and paying attention. But I think we are getting better, and she's starting to listen to me more, and she doesn't feel so frustrated. I heard her yesterday as she was Skyping with her cousin. They asked her how she likes studying from home, and she said she likes it more because mommy explains it better. So that was a huge compliment to me. So at least I know that it's catching on with her, that she's making note of these, and I see the improvement as far as paying attention. I mean, it's not 100%, but they are not robots, so that's expected. And this is our sh sound practice. So once we go through the sh, ch, then I give her a choice. Kids like to have choices. So I ask her which does she want to do first, and then she chose the sh sound, so that's what we did, and then I dictate the words to her. So I sound it out to her super slowly, and we do it together, so she can hear out and she can practice of how to sound out the words themselves. And this was another double letter combination that we started to work on because they are quite common. And I wanted to show her that sometimes the letters, although they look the same, they're going to have different pronunciations. So we're going to do the soft ones and then the hard ones. And these were our soft ones, and these were our hard ones, but it's th versus the. And these ones, I crossed out, we did them for demonstration, but I crossed it out that they are not as important for practicing. So I wanted her to focus on these. And also, many of these words reappear in the Peter Rabbit book again. So after this one, we did the Peter Rabbit book reading again, and then because they were more important for our reading exercises, we decided to go with the spelling exercises for dictation. More of the sounds, and again, these ones are on her Dutch sight of word sheets, so we are exercising those as well. Also, we have a blackboard that I utilize sometimes in her room. It's set up, but that was more when we were still in the regular setup with school. And nowadays, I just take it out into the garden on pretty days, so she doesn't feel like she's stuck inside. And every 5 minutes or so, I ask her to do a word or two, and then she goes back to swinging. And then 15 minutes later, we do it again. So it's a constant interruption, but it's short enough where she doesn't feel bogged down by it. All right, my time is up, and I think I showed everything that we have done for English. And for projects, as I said, they are doing the building castles out of blankets right now. A couple of days ago, we did a sewing project where they made a craft, a little purse, and I cut out some felt flowers and ladybugs, and they had to put it together and glue it down and those sort of things. And they were able to pick out little dolly decorations made out of threads or yarn. And I had some bee faces that they were able to put together. So they tremendously enjoyed it, but I just try to mix in other things in there. So the learning experience and the focusing and following instructions is not so drowning. All right, so this is our little report of what we have been doing. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know.